They carry about 95 anti-air and land attack missiles. They have an unmatched capability to defend themselves. 350 sailors aboard, 2 helicopters on most of the ships in the class.
In a dramatic display of American naval innovation, the United States Navy has brought its most advanced aircraft carrier to operational readiness, and the news has reverberated around the globe, particularly in Moscow. The new vessel, part of the Gerald R. Ford class and costing around $100 billion over its life cycle, marks a seismic leap forward in naval warfare capability. Russia, already engaged in a costly high-tech air war over Ukraine, now faces the unsettling reality that the U.S. has escalated its maritime power projection to a new level. This carrier dethrones its venerable Nimitz-class predecessors with cutting-edge technologies. Its electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALS, replaces steam catapults, allowing 25% more aircraft launches per day, while requiring 25% fewer crew members. Its dual-band radars and /SPY-3 and /SPY-4 provide multi-band detection, significantly boosting long-range air and missile defense. The A-1B nuclear reactor generates a surplus of electrical power, enabling future integration of directed energy weapons like powerful lasers and electric armor. These innovations reduce life cycle costs by an estimated $4 billion across 50 years. Compared to the older USS Nimitz, this carrier is a generational leap. Higher sortie rates, smarter sensors, more power, fewer crew, and a design built for decades of technological upgrades. Against this backdrop, Russia is already grappling with a transformed battlefield. On June 6 to 7, 2025, Moscow launched a massive retaliation against Ukraine, deploying more than 400 drones and missiles, including Shahid-136 kamikaze drones and long-range Kh-101 cruise missiles, in response to Ukrainian strikes that damaged a strategic Russian airbase and destroyed Tu-95 and Tu-22 M3 bombers. Key Ukrainian cities, Kyiv, Lviv, Ternopil, Vinnytsia, Kharkiv, and vital infrastructure such as power plants, industrial facilities, and ammunition depots were hit, causing 6 deaths, over 80 wounded, and widespread disruption to military operations and civilian life. Despite Ukraine's enhanced S-300 and Buk air defenses from Western partners, the sheer volume of coordinated attack overwhelmed them, exposing significant gaps in their readiness and efficacy. Russia also demonstrated its capacity for strategic, long-range precision strike by deploying Tu-95MS bombers carrying Kh-101S, capable of reaching deep into Ukrainian territory without exposing their crews to frontline air threats. In such a context, the U.S. unveiling its new carrier presents formidable challenges for Russia. Operating deep in the Atlantic or deployed to Europe, it would serve as a mobile airbase, supporting both manned and unmanned aircraft sorties at unprecedented frequency. The enhanced sortie capability means persistent air presence, while advanced radar and future laser systems would challenge cruise missiles and drone swarms, like Russia's Shahid waves, by intercepting them long before they reach friendly vessels or territories. The timing of this development couldn't be more significant. Russia's recent drone missile blitz revealed the increasing prominence of modern air warfare, drone swarms, compact standoff missiles, and long-range bombers in the Ukraine theater. Meanwhile, U.S. naval strategy is evolving toward distributed maritime operations, power projection near contested zones, and crafting layered defenses against precisely this kind of high-volume, varied aerial threat. In essence, America's new carrier is built to counter today's and tomorrow's aerial threats: drones, cruise missiles, even hypersonics and electromagnetic attacks. Russia's leaders are acutely aware. Analysts in Moscow see this deployment as a strategic blow, undermining Russia's regional influence and coercive potential. If that supercarrier moves into the Mediterranean or Black Sea region, even through NATO allies, the Russian fleet and its shore-based air defense will have to account for a floating airbase capable of delivering sustained strikes. Moreover, the carrier's sensor suite and defensive systems could detect and intercept maritime cruise missiles, anti-ship drones, and even hypersonic threats launched by Russia's Pacific or Baltic fleets. Even domestically in the U.S., enthusiasm is tempered by operational challenges. Earlier test programs revealed software glitches in EMALS and radar integration, requiring post-shakedown fixes after 2019. Yet the Navy officially confirmed these were resolved, and the ship now enters full operational deployment. Its reduced manning and automation reflect a shift in naval doctrine, from manpower-intensive fleets to tech-driven, power-dense assets. Politically, the deployment bolsters NATO's deterrence. Allied governments see it as a tangible signal of U.S. commitment, enhancing reassurance for vulnerable eastern flank states like Poland, the Baltic nations, and Ukraine's partners. It also sends a message to Moscow that its experimental drone missile arsenals will now contend with a platform designed to neutralize them. Overlaid on this military face-off are deeper geopolitical tensions. Russia views relations with the West through the prism of great power rivalry. The new carrier is not just a weapon, it's a statement. Deploying it near Europe, especially in concert with missile-armed destroyers and Allied submarines, could spark a new phase of maritime competition. Russia may accelerate deployment of its own submarines, long-range air defenses, electronic warfare assets, and even hypersonic anti-ship missiles to offset this shift. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine, already extending into sophisticated drone and missile exchanges, now exists in a broader theater. While Russia tests its air defense's ability to withstand swarming drones and cruise missiles, the U.S. pushes forward with assets tailored to counteract precisely that. What was once planned as a futuristic deterrent is now an urgent response to battlefield realities. The convergence of battlefield technology seen in Ukraine and maritime innovation, seen in the Ford-class carrier, illustrates the multidimensional nature of modern war. The U.S. carrier is proof that air supremacy can extend beyond clear skies into contested waters, dwarfing the traditional battlespace. The psychological effect must not be underestimated. Russia's defense ministry, reacting to the launch, emphasized readiness to adjust operational plans, while state media framed the carrier's deployment as part of a larger Atlantic containment cordon around Russia. Officers within the Russian Navy reportedly view the carrier as a priority threat, given its ability to track and hold at risk their key surface ships and supply lines in the North Atlantic and Arctic. Technological momentum is another factor. The carrier is designed with adaptability. The excessive power margin from the A-1B reactor means that when directed energy weapons are ready, they can be retrofitted. That's an emerging existential shift. Railguns, high-energy lasers, and electromagnetic defenses, once science fiction, are now design-considered features. No Russian ship, regardless of size, currently matches that potential. In parallel, the war's global political dynamics remain volatile. Russia's massive drone barrage was justified by Moscow as retaliation, but drew sharp rebuke from Ukraine and the West. Former U.S. President Donald Trump praised the strikes as understandable responses, calling for restraint on foreign intervention. Ukrainian President Zelensky directly labeled Russia the aggressor, doubling down on calls for more air defense capabilities. These political ripples affect Western unity at a time when U.S. military posture is giving NATO fresh strategic heft, with this new carrier now part of that shift. For Russia, matching this U.S. advancement will be expensive. Their ambitious Project 23,000 Storm Supercarrier proposal remains theoretical and financially constrained, estimated at around $5.5 billion, with no confirmed funding or timeline. With Russia's economy strained by sanctions and war costs, launching such a carrier seems unlikely. Instead, Moscow may seek asymmetric counters, beefed-up coastal missile batteries, expanded submarine fleets, hypersonic missile deployments, or partnerships with China to offset the American naval edge. This naval chessboard is now more complex and dangerous. U.S. maritime dominance, historically based on large carrier strike groups, receives a critical upgrade. The next-gen carrier's capabilities align precisely with the current threats: drone swarms, precision cruise missiles, and projected power. Russia's recent air campaign in Ukraine showed these threats in action. The U.S. carrier aims to neutralize them. In summary, the arrival of the new Ford-class carrier at operational readiness marks a pivotal moment. It signals the U.S. transition into a new era of naval warfare, one defined by advanced sensors, automation, energy weapons, and integration with high-end air and missile defenses. For Russia, already feeling the strain of modern air warfare in Ukraine, this is more than a strategic challenge. It is a geopolitical shock. The balance of power at sea is shifting, and with it, the stakes of global military competition. As both superpowers adapt, the eyes of the world will watch where this powerful symbol of American dominance sails next, and how the Kremlin decides to counter it. So, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. and we'll see you in the next one.